Awareness is always already content. The awareness of your being, the presence of your being, is already free and content. And even if you are seeking and you are struggling and you are trying to get from this place to another, this place of dissatisfaction to a place in your life that's filled with happiness and satisfaction, your awareness of being, the nature of your being, isn't actually on that search. The nature of your being is already home. But it is that mental impulse to go from here, I'm dissatisfied, to where I will find happiness in the future. And it is not always I'm not criticizing this impulse, right? Sometimes the impulse for change is a natural, instinctual, positive impulse. But very often, that impulse is overlooking the fact that true happiness is already here within you right now in this moment. And the only reason you don't experience that peace or that happiness in some way is because your identity is rooted in the central experience of your mind, in your beliefs about yourself and your beliefs about reality, right? But awareness of being is completely and utterly satisfied, utterly at peace. And again, it is not about denying your experience if you're going through challenging, emotionally volatile time. Bring compassion to your heart. Let the awareness of being bring compassion to your heart. But it is just a remembrance. It is good to have the remembrance that even when you are struggling and you are maybe confused or overwhelmed or your mind is spinning in spirals, even when that is happening, the awareness of being is already at peace. So you can rest assured that even while you don't feel at peace, a part of you is at peace. And that is the first step to recognizing your true nature. Is you have to realize, you have to recognize that even if you can't feel it or sense it so deeply, there's already a part of you that is at peace, utterly content, doesn't need anything more to be happy, doesn't need achievement, success, doesn't need anything more. It is utterly content in the experience that is here because it doesn't live in the world. Awareness doesn't live in the world. Awareness doesn't live in the content of the world. Awareness doesn't live in what's happening in the world. Awareness lives beyond the world, and the world arises within the nature of your being. And so, whatever happens in your world, the content of experience, which of course we go through challenges, of course, there are things that happen to us that are not easy to deal with. But awareness isn't facing these challenges. We are. Awareness is already at peace because awareness isn't impacted by the content of experience. And if you want to find lasting happiness and peace, it is important to recognize that part of you that is already at peace, that part of you that is already home, that part of you that doesn't need anything else from life. And then what happens is when you root deeper and you ground deeper in that awareness of being, and you let yourself be touched by it, in a way it is God's presence, God's essence. You let yourself be touched by it, moved by it. What happens is that your mind will begin to be influenced, your perspective will begin to be influenced, and your whole nervous system will begin to be influenced by this recognition of awareness and the true nature of your being, that everything will slow down and harmonize in your life. You will find alignment, but it is important to not always seek alignment or seek change in a future state or in a future experience, but to recognize that the nature of happiness is already here within you. The kingdom of heaven, so to say, is already here within you. So I just want you to feel for a moment. Just relax your attention. Relax your attention, not focusing so much on what's happening around you, on your thoughts, your feelings. They can be here, they can float, they can arise, they can come and go. We hold space for that. But relax back, fall back, if you will, sink back into that which is simply aware, into that which is simply noticing the experience arising. because that, my friend, is your true self, is your true nature. And if we can have over time, with practice and recognition, an identity shift that shifts our identity from being so entangled in our thoughts and feelings, in the experience we're having, and we're more rooted in the presence of our being, and we have our identity rooted in that, that's when peace and happiness become a more permanent experience. And it's not an emotional spike of happiness. It's not this kind of happiness that maybe our ego imagines, but it's a very beautiful, pristine peace and happiness, a sense of safety, a sense of well being, no matter what is happening in your world around you, because you are in touch with that which is unaffected by what is happening in the world around you. And then you soothe with presence and compassion the part of you that is in this world, right? Because we have a body and we are a person navigating this world. There's no way around it, right? You cannot deny that. But we bring compassion and understanding. And from that deeper knowing and recognition of our true nature, the peace will flow into our nervous system, will flow into our daily experience. And even though we might experience challenge, we can experience challenge with the resilience of our true self, being centered in our true self, in the nature of our being. So just take a moment, relax back, relax back into the essence of you. That simple, abiding, unchanging awareness of being. Nothing can ever take you out of this. And even when you think you're not present, it is not a true thought, because presence is already who you are. It is here. So you cannot ever not be present. You can simply have an experience where presence is obscured, is veiled, overlooked. That's the furthest you can go. But to say that you're not present is not true. You are present right now because you are aware. You are aware of me speaking. You are aware of the screen. You're aware of right now where you're sitting, what you're seeing around you, what you're hearing, my voice, subtle, birds maybe chirping, or the sound of the air conditioning. You are aware. You cannot argue with that. You cannot argue with the fact that you are aware. So relax back into that awareness. Soften into that being. And the more you soften into that being, you'll notice that a certain peace and quality of peace arrives. It's simply that recognition that you're recognizing your true place, where you're home. And as you soften back into your being and you bring yourself back there, the mind naturally begins to quieten. The mind naturally begins to soften because you relax your nervous system, and the mind doesn't need to have all these storylines and narratives. As you recognize and bring your focus a little bit inward, but it's a relaxing of focus, it's not an efforting, it's a softening into your being. That awareness of awareness itself takes up your space, so we don't need to be so lost in our mind. We're noticing what is before the mind, what is prior to the mind. Simply notice. Notice what is aware within you, and simply rest as that. Simply relax into that and feel how your nervous system responds to that. Let me know in the comments below how this experience feels to you. What do you feel right now? What's your state of being? Just by practicing this. What are your thoughts that are arising? What is your experience? I'd love to hear from you.